After 2 combat deployments for the Vermont National Guard, Sergeant Wes Black finally returned home to a normal life, raising a child, working, and stomach issues. The VA diagnosed him with irritable bowel syndrome. Typical. But what Black experienced was anything but. And in 2017, the VA diagnosed him again, this time with stage 4 terminal colon cancer. Black is now looking at caskets while his newborn is learning how to walk. The reason burn pits, or according to the New York Times of March 3rd, 2021, garbage disposal pits filled with everything and anything that a base wants to get rid of. This includes rotting food, old uniforms, hazardous materials, medical waste, batteries, ammunition, trucks, nuclear waste, amputated body parts. Oh, and the best part, metric tons of human feces. This is all then doused in jet fuel and set on fire in fires that are as long as 10 acres long. These pits are burned 24/7 in some deployments, creating massive toxic black clouds that are just as little as 150 feet away from the camp. Veterans who fought for our country are returning home only to fight again. Now fighting cancer, lung disease, with the VA themselves, because 72% of victims are denied coverage. The VA estimates that around 3.5 million vets that served in Iran and Afghanistan were exposed to burn pits since 2001. Now hundreds of thousands of them are either ill, homeless, dying, or all three. So, problems, causes, and solutions, for which some soldiers are dubbing the VA's new motto: delay, deny, hope you die. Sergeant Isaiah James joined the military at 19 as a young, healthy man. However, when he left, at 27, he was 90% disabled from scarring due to his exposure to burn pits. Burn pits are dangerous to soldiers like him for 2 reasons. 1, carcinogens, and 2, avoiding accountability. First, the military has known burn pits are dangerous for decades. As early as the 1980s, Chris Wallace and Dan Rathers both broke stories about the harms and dangers of disposable-related carcinogens. In 2002, the VA and the DoD both had internal memos circulated acknowledging the effects of burn pits, even prohibiting their use in 2009, officially stating that burn pits inherently create issues and should be terminated as soon as practical. However, in 2010, the VA circulated another internal memo. This one was to be on the lookout for conditions related to exposure to particulate matters, polyacynic aromatic hydrocarbons, volatile organic compounds, toxic organic halogen dioxides, and furanes. Chemicals like these make burn pits some of the U.S. military's deadliest weapons. Second, burn pits kill because protecting those affected is quote-unquote too expensive. The DoD and the VA have routinely paid for Pentagon studies about the impacts of burn pits. However, these all coincidentally are inconclusive or don't have enough data. Lieutenant Colonel Dan Brewer was Chief of Environment in Iraq, and he explains in an interview that after seeing the impacts of burn pits, he came home and he raised concerns to other high-ranking government officials. And when he did, you know what they told him? They told him to keep his opinions to himself, saying, and I quote, "If we don't know what to do, we can't be held accountable." Jim Baines, chairman of the Federal Research Advisory Committee of Belfort Veteran Illnesses from 2012 to 2014, explains this, saying that in each major military conflict, the number of veterans injured by toxic exposure vastly exceeds the number injured by bombs or bullets. The VA doesn't help burn pit survivors. 2 effects. First, veterans lose life-saving treatment. According to a study done by the New York State Division of Veteran Services, lung cancer stomach cancer, skin, brain, prostate, testicular, blood, and soft tissue cancers, along with strokes, Parkinson's disease, paraphernalia neuropathy, asthma, sleep apnea, chronic coughing, and leukemia are just some of the long list of diseases linked to burn pit exposure. Will Thompson is a retired Army Staff Sergeant who has been exposed to burn pits. When a ophthalmologist examined Thompson's lungs, what they found was anything but normal. He not only found scarring and black spots, but also partially combusted jet fuel and metal on the inside, causing Thompson to need a double lung transplant. However, the VA denied his claims, saying that his lung problems had no correlation to the exposure to burn pits, forging innocence as people like Thompson lose their lives. Second, veterans who do survive encounters with burn pits are left with lifelong trauma. Many end up homeless, bankrupt, or even on the verge of suicide because of the financial stress caused by trying to pay for these medical treatments without the help of the VA. Military.com of March 21st explains that since the VA has denied 72% of burn pit claims, hundreds of thousands of veterans are now going into extensive medical care just to survive. Captain Leo Torres is one of these members. He served the Army for 23 years and even afterwards served the Texas State Troopers. However, unfortunately for him, he was soon diagnosed with toxic brain injuries and constricted bronchiolitis. He was forced to retire and was left with little to no means to pay for his medical treatment. Torres discusses his experience on Jon Stewart's show, The Problem. He explains that the financial and mental stress that were caused by his illness and the VA led him to attempt suicide in 2016. The VA ensures that veterans are treated just as disposable as the trash they burn. Since Bill Biden's death in 2015, Joe Biden has been extremely vocal about his belief that his son's brain cancer was directly correlated to his exposure to burn pits, prompting multiple executive efforts to address burn pits. Actions like this inspired two solutions: information accountability and burn pit registries. First, the VA and the DoD need to take accountability for giving people information about burn pits and their effects. A bipartisan bill titled The Presumptive Benefits for Warfighters Exposed to Burn Pits and Other Toxins, if passed, would grant coverage to any and all deployed veterans' respiratory illnesses and or cancer. There'd be no more red tape, no more denial, because this coverage would be guaranteed. Unfortunately, the act hasn't passed yet. However, you guys can help. Here in the chat, I put a link to a stock document that you can provide to your local and state representatives, informing them about what this bill is and who it protects. Those who fought for our country. Please click the link, sign your name, and forward it. A minute of your time in exchange for decades added to a veteran's life. Finally, many veterans don't even know that their respiratory or cancerous health conditions have any relation to their time in the military. The Airborne Hazards and Open Burn Pit Registry is an online site developed for veterans who served in locations heavy with airborne hazards. When veterans sign up and document their health conditions, the registry gets more data. This means more lives saved, more information. But unfortunately, only 2,400 out of the 3 million veterans eligible for the registry have signed up. That means 2,760,000 veterans don't even know about the effects of burn pits or about the important treatments and benefits they're entitled to. So I've attached a link to the Airborne Hazards and Open Burn Pit Registry. Here, you will find all the information you need about the benefits and how to sign up. Education and information is key in giving these sick veterans a fighting chance, a fair shot. Having discussed causes, effects, and solutions for the VA's clear lack of support for burn pit victims, it's obvious not even jet fuel in someone's lungs is enough proof for the VA to do their job. Until the public holds them accountable. Sergeant West, Will Thompson, Isaiah James, these are only a few of the many veterans whose lives were left in shambles by a country they fought to protect. And it's time that this country protects them just how they protected us.